Hey there, it's Geoff from geoffmobile.com, and I was thinking today about a certain subject relating to new media, technology, and information, which I wanted to at least start the discussion on it, even if I don't have a complete answer or complete illustration of the subject. What I want to talk about is the concept of curation. So a curator is a person in a museum or library who decides which art to show in the museum. They're basically a filter, so they filter out all that art out there in the world and decide which 10 things to show today in the gallery. Curation doesn't only happen in museums, it can also happen on the internet. So for example, when you type a search term into Google, like say, the best cat picture into Google, Google does an instant curation for you, goes out on Google on its index of the web and finds the 10 best things it thinks are related to your search term, the best cat picture or something like that. So in effect, what Google is doing is they've taken the concept of curation and made it scale across millions and billions of people using it every day. And that's probably the key to their success. Before Google came along, there was the most popular website in the world was Yahoo, and Yahoo made itself famous by doing curation of the web as well. That was when the web was a lot smaller in the late 90s, early 2000s, and Yahoo's curation worked like this. They had a large web index that was maintained by humans, and the humans were the ones who decided what would go in each category and updating the lists of things on the internet in their nicely annotated index of the web. Well, what happened was the internet started growing too fast for the humans to keep up with it. So we had to rely on things like Google, which are using algorithms, computer systems, to do the curation for us. And how Google works is when you type a search term, Google infers from what you type what your intent is, whether you want a video about, cats, or the company called Caterpillar, which is making large working equipment or large backhoes and things. They know from what you're typing, it's more likely to be what it is, whether it's a farm equipment or animal or food or anything you like that. But with the internet even continuing to grow and sites like Facebook coming online, people are not always finding Google is the place they want to find stuff that are interesting for them. They find they want to get their information and the things that they want to look at curated by their friends. I think this is the most significant thing that's been happening on Facebook, is that instead of going to Google to search for interesting stuff, you just go onto your Facebook page and your friends will suggest things that you should look at. So in effect, your friends are acting as curators for the things that you see. And you yourself can act as a curator for your friends by posting interesting links to things you're interested in. The website Twitter allows you to curate not just for your friends, but for any people who want to follow you, who share your interests. And web blogs, like WordPress blogs on the internet, are like ways people can curate the web to a large audience and then have those curations being indexed by a website like Google. So I think curation itself is one of the most powerful, important pieces of the new internet. And it's especially important when we have the internet growing at such a massive pace and when millions of more people are starting to contribute content to the internet. There has to be better filtering and through curation of information to give people access to things that they're interested in. But one aspect of curation that isn't always thought about is, how do you find those things which you'd be interested in, but maybe your friends haven't seen yet, or maybe they haven't been indexed by Google yet? So the ability to find really recent information that's relevant to you or interesting to you, but maybe isn't known already by your social circle, that's the most challenging part of curation. And I think the algorithms we've seen maybe through my website, YouTube Video Explorer, findinteresting.com, are kind of the indication of where things are going with that, through allowing you to quickly browse through random strangers' things that they think are interesting in a sort of like a favorite surfing kind of idea. So if you haven't seen my website yet, it's at findinteresting.com, and it uses this kind of a collaborative filtering algorithm to do curation on a mass scale using visual representations of videos. Anyways, that's kind of my stab at it, but I'd like to hear what you think about curation and this new, if we think about it in terms of curation, the internet is just a big curation place where a lot of filtering is done. I think we can start thinking of new applications and new ideas, because Google wouldn't be popular as it is without having invented this massively scaling curation system. So the next person who can think of maybe a curation system that scales that well, but also has a social, like friend kind of aspect to it, I think will be very rich. So I hope this made sense to you guys, and please leave your comments below if you have anything to add to the discussion. I also will approve your video responses if you want to post some videos. Another interesting news is I just got approved to add monetization to my channel. Even though I'm not a YouTube partner, I can submit some of my videos to have advertisements and revenue sharing. So please support me by clicking subscribe, or if you're interested in what the advertising offers, you might want to consider clicking those, but I'm not allowed to actually tell you to click the ads, and actually, if you do click the ads because I tell you to, I think that would be a violation of the policy. So just thanks a lot for Google for allowing me into this program, and if you do find things interesting in those ads that are accompanying the videos, you might want to click them, but I'm in no way encouraging you to do so. Okay, thanks a lot, Google. Thanks a lot for everyone for watching. I'll catch you next time. Bye.
This is like the upbeat version of the evil castle.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.